Warning, the Stone Age Gamer includes a lot of bad language. Cover your mother***ing ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast. I'm Kris Randazzo and joining me tonight is surprising amount of remakes, Dan Ryan.
Good evening. And joining me tonight... What? No, remake. Sorry. There was a better joke there. I got distracted by this thing I'm doing. I'm sorry.
How very dare you.
There was a better joke. I apologize.
It's the final show of 2023. Well, for us anyway, since we're recording on December 29th. And that means Dan and I will be recapping the year that was 2023. How did it go? Don't forget to buy your copy of Advance Wars because the Stone Age Gamer Podcast starts now. Hi, everyone. This is episode 496. It's the week of January 5th, 2024. We've got a whole lot of show to cover tonight, so we're going to try and take care of the beginning as quick as we can, even though we do have a few things to talk about. We're skipping week-old news. We're going to go right to the recap. So, Dan, how the hell are you? How was your Christmas?
I was really good, man. It was really, really good. We got, almost everything I wanted. I didn't... That's a shitty way to start it off, but it's just being honest. I very rarely does my aunt ask me, what's number one on your Christmas list? Like I'm 10 years old still. But she asked me, like in November, we met for lunch, me, the girls, and my aunt, and just having conversations. She was like, "What's the number one thing on your Christmas list?" And I keep my Amazon list kind of going all year, and I was like, honestly, the number one thing is this coffee warmer, this little mug thing. Like it's like $50.
Right, yeah.
Like that. That's the thing. Like that's like number one up on the list. And I didn't get it. I didn't get one. And I was, why'd you ask then? I was fully because I never know. They like to buy. Both of my aunts that we celebrate Christmas with, they like to buy more practical things. So some of like the practical stuff that I get that I need and or want but don't want to go buy myself, like floor mats and seat covers for my car. I don't want to spend money on that, but as a Christmas gift, like, oh, sweet, that's fucking awesome. I loved opening that up. Or I got the battery organizer that I've wanted forever. And like, I'm looking at it right now, and I got to tell you, Kris, it's triggering something within me that I didn't know existed. Because I look at this battery organizer, and I've got
Send me a link. I want to see it.
I'm going to send you a picture of the one I got.
Good.
Hold on. I had to step away from the mic. I'm like that chocolate rain guy. Moving closer. That was an old joke. So this thing is like it's just a battery organizer, but I'm looking at it and I've got a couple C batteries in here, and I've got some AA's and I've got some AAA's, and there's a lot of empty space. And I was talking to Tiff, and I'm like, every time I look at this thing, I want to run to the store and buy batteries I don't need just so I can fill it up and have batteries in there. Like, I don't need D battery. I'm never going to need D batteries. It's not a thing I ever need.
You say that now.
When am I going to need D batteries, Kris?
I don't know. You don't know what the next generation of vibrators are going to run on.
That shit is USB-C. Thank you very much.
No. That's the D.
Oh, there it is. USB-D. Nice. Love it. But no, so like that's the kind of stuff. Like they
Where's
get
this
practical
picture?
things.
It's
coming right now,
me.
man.
Jesus Christ.
Like so we get like the practical things. And but I thought the coffee warmer thing was going to be like, you asked, I said it was number one, and like whatever, it's fine.
All right, so this is interesting. I have a very different battery setup because I also am very meticulous about my battery setup.
Yeah. Shocking, literally no one.
Yeah. So I have in my laundry room, I have 2 sets of drawers, like these really small drawers. I want to say they're each one has 3 drawers. They're about I don't know, 6-7 inches high, and like 5 or 6 inches wide. And each drawer is then dedicated to a different kind of battery because of exactly what you're talking about. I looked at something like this and said, oh, I would really like to have one of these to organize my batteries. Except as soon as I use one, I'm going to lose my fucking mind because it can't.
Yep.
It can't be partially empty. That would drive me nuts. But the drawers, however, they work perfectly for that because all I have to see is my clearly labeled drawers. You know, one's for AAAs, one for AAs, one's for C's and D's, one's for one's for like small screwdrivers for getting toys open. Then one is for 9 volts, and then one's for like watch battery, hearing aid battery, like the little disc sized batteries that go in various toys and remotes and stuff like that. So I got 6 drawers dedicated just to the life of batteries, and it's a pretty nice setup, I have to say. I'm very proud of it. But this is also quite nice. I like that. How's that battery tester work? Does it work well?
It's perfect. Yeah, absolutely perfect.
That's
tested
glorious.
it with batteries that I knew were shit, and it told me that they were shit, and batteries that I had just opened, and it said that they were good, and indeed they were. Yeah, it was awesome. But like, not a thing that I would ever want to spend money on myself.
Right. That's how I feel about the toaster I got from my sister.
Yeah, like it's really cool. I'm so happy to have it.
I have it. It's my favorite thing about it is that I can look at it and it has a timer, like a digital timer on it. So I can look at a glance and say, oh, his waffles are going to pop out of the toaster in like 14 seconds. That's how much time I have left on a toaster.
That's pretty fucking great.
That is fucking clutch.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
But the number one thing I wanted for Christmas was the steam mop, which I didn't get. That's not true. The number one thing I wanted was the AirPods, and that's what Karen got me, was the AirPods, and that was the exact right thing to do.
Like actual Apple AirPods?
Yes, yeah. Because my Gen 1 AirPods, the battery stopped working after like 2 years, which is fucking bullshit. But every AirPod type solution I've tried since then, they just don't sound anywhere, not even in the same galaxy as those AirPods. So when I turned these on Christmas Day, I was like, holy shit, that's what sounds like. Oh, I've missed this so. I love them so much. It's second generation ones because I don't like the shape of the newer ones as much. So I think that's why they still make the second generation ones, to be perfectly honest, but whatever.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier with them. But I do really want that steam mop. I'm going to try to save up and buy myself one this year. Because it was like the steam mop, it was the toaster was technically from my sister, and Karen was like, you should get him this toolbox. He also wants a toaster. And so, she got the toaster. And then Karen was like, I know this is like a super novelty thing, so if you want to go out and get that toolbox, it's still on sale. So I finally got a proper toolbox, which makes me happy.
That's outstanding.
Red Craftsman ones. I finally centralized all my tools. It's got, with a flip top and then 3 drawers. I have like a couple of like more portable toolboxes that I use for everyday stuff. Like, it's like an IKEA one with a screwdriver with multiple heads, hammer, pliers, like all your basics in one small box, and that I'll carry around the house. But then I have all these excess tools that I've inherited from various places over the years that I finally have a place for. And I'm so happy about it. It's really kicking off my getting the garage in order, which is one of my goals for the year. But really the only game I got was Pikmin 1 and 2, which I'm happy about. I haven't touched it yet.
We got that for Katie. She is loving it.
Yeah, I have no doubt I'm going to. I'm not sure when I'm going to play it yet because I seem to have accidentally fallen back into Vampire Survivors really hard.
Okay.
I just saw the icon and was like, yeah, sure, why not? And I'm just completely obsessed with it again, which is ridiculous. But yeah, what else did you get? Anything else cool?
Yeah, I mean, I was, like I said, I could not, I legitimately cannot complain. I only got one gaming related thing, but it was Spider-Man 2, which has consumed just a ton of time this week, because it's fucking great. And so there's a moment, very early on in the game where it has to be intentional. It just has to be. You are running around and you're going to send a drone up, a spider drone, right? To reconnect the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man app. And I forget what the hell they called the drone, but the acronym spells out friend. So you're going to send a friend up, and as soon as you launch the drone, the green circles appear, and you have to fly through the green circles.
I feel like I saw a video of this, and I was like, is this real?
Son of a bitch.
They released this Superman 64, this game, it's amazing.
They really did, but it works so well, because it kind of teaches you the flight controls, because they have added that to the traversal of this game, right? I talked a ton about just how fun it was to swing around the city in the first Spider-Man game on PS4. This one, they've added web wings, so you can like be swinging and jump off a line and like pull off of a building and shoot like a zip, and then pop out your web wings and you fly. Like, they've given you the ability to fly in this game without giving you flight, if that makes sense. Like, you can, but Spider-Man can't technically fly still. It's just you're gliding on these wings. But as you glide around the city, you can like catch air currents, and like it responds realistically to when you catch an air current. And when you catch certain ones, the fucking green rings pop up again, and if you stay going through them, you get like a speed boost or whatever. It's so fucking wild. It's such a good game. It's so well written. It's so well acted. It animates beautifully. I just could not be fucking happier with it so far. And I haven't gotten, all the way through it yet. And we're not spending a ton of time like talking about that kind of stuff this week. I'll talk more about it next week, but man, just really, really fucking great. I also ended up with, DC a little while ago put out 5 Superman comics or trade paperbacks, and they were collecting the death and return of Superman, and then like the final miniseries that Dan Jurgens did. So it's the Death of Superman, Funeral for a Friend, Reign of the Superman, the Return of Superman, and then Superman Doomsday. Those 5 trade paperbacks. And when you put them all together and you line them up with the spine, everything lines up perfectly, and it forms the bloody S logo, the Superman shield from when he died and whatever, and it looks fucking great. Except I am missing one of them still. I'm still missing just the fucking Funeral for a Friend one. I got the Reign of the Superman trade paperback for Christmas because I had gotten the other 3 at Ollie's, the big discount store around here, and they were like $3. So I just grabbed them because I was like, I saw one the first time I went, and I got like the 5th one, the Superman Doomsday one. I was like, this was a cool story. I like this. It's $3. Fuck it. It's $3. I'll get it. And then the next time I went, they had like the Return of Superman and the Death of Superman, and those were both $3. And I was like, well, fuck. All right. Well, I kind of got to get all of it now. And then I got the one for Christmas. So maybe for my birthday, maybe in October, I will have the fucking complete set. But I think the most, and I will end on this, the most thoughtful thing, because this ties into what was frustrating me as we were starting the podcast. The most thoughtful thing, I think, was a gift that Tiff got me. It was this little cube, and I couldn't quite figure out what the fuck it was when I was trying to open it.
Was it the Tesseract?
It was. No, when I popped it open, it is a cube, and inside of this cube were a bunch of note cards, and they are all discussion questions for a book club. And the reason that I was like, I was like so blown away by that and so very happy about it is I decided that one of the things we were going to do as a family this year is we were doing the Ryan Family Book Club. And once a month, we are each going to pick a book. One of us is going to pick each month. I am starting because I am the oldest, obviously. So it was my idea. So I get to start it off, and we're going to read a book or listen to the book. That's fine. We're modern, hip people. And at the end of the month, whoever got to pick the book is also going to pick the restaurant that we go out to and discuss the book at the restaurant. And Tiff got me like a bunch of book club, because I've never been in a book club. You know, I read books and I'm like, oh, this is fucking great. And then I, you know, tell a bunch of people that they should read it. But like actually trying to think around the discussion around the book, I think is going to be really interesting and cool, and I just thought that was a thoughtful thing. And what a fucking nerdy thing that we're doing. Like, I'm going to force my family out to the diner to talk about our book club book, but I'm really excited about it. And for this, for anybody who wants to read along and leave your thoughts by the end of January in the Discord, the first book we are doing is a book called Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. And let me just read you the synopsis real quick here, Kris, because this seems like something you might be interested. I know it said horror in the title, but you might be interested as well. Something strange is happening at the Orsk Furniture Store in Cleveland, Ohio. Every morning, employees arrive to find broken Kerjing bookshelves, shattered Glon's water goblets, and smashed Lilla Pip wardrobes. Sales are down, security cameras reveal nothing, and store managers are panicking. To unravel the mystery, 3 employees volunteer to work a 9-hour dusk-till-dawn shift. In the dead of the night, they'll patrol the empty showroom floor, investigate strange sights and sounds, and encounter horrors that defy the imagination. This is a book about a fucking haunted IKEA, and I could not be any more excited.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so and then I had to fight with Calibre to get the fucking book on my Nook, because I haven't used my Nook in fucking forever, and I haven't gone to the store to buy the book yet. So, but I want to get a jump start on reading, because I would like to read more this year. I know that's one of the things, you know, we say every year, like, "Well, what's your resolution?" Oh, fucking read more. But like, I really would like to read more, you know. Because I read all day, you read all day, we all do. Like, we read websites and text messages and blog posts, but like, I would like to read more books this year. I would like to actually read less, I think, and just focus it on books.
Read more, but read better.
Yeah, there you go. So what about you? Anything else cool other than a toaster that tells you when your toast is toasted?
Well, I got the...
I suppose all toasters tell you when they're toasted, but how much time
toasters
until
toast.
Toasted? That's right.
That's what Mario says. Let's see. I got the Pikmin, I got the toolbox, I got the toaster, I got the AirPods. Other, small odds and ends, some shirts and things like that, which are quite nice. I did go on a small shopping spree for myself on the Atari VCS.
Nice.
They had they had a whole big sale, so I completed my Recharged collection with Quantum, Asteroids, the new Missile Command, and Centipede. Quantum's pretty cool. I like it. It's not my favorite, but it's far from my least. I think Asteroids is pretty cool, though I don't like the way it looks. I think Missile Command is neat. It's better than the original one, which was way too simplistic. And I already played through Centipede on the Switch, which I think is pretty great. But I also picked up a game called Millie and Greg, which I wouldn't have bought based on the cover art at all. But I saw this John Hancock video about games to get on VCS, and Millie and Greg was there, and it looked pretty neat. It's like it's gameplay-wise, it's pretty similar to Celeste in that you're a little, pixelated character that runs and jumps. And you have a mid-air, or just anywhere, really, like dash move. But you can only do the dash move once in mid-air until your feet touch the ground again, kind of a thing. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. It's not the easiest thing to play with that weird D-pad on the VCS, but outside of that, I got through most of the first world, I think, the other day. And, nice. Yeah, so that's been pretty fun. I also have been continuing on my Super Mario World thing. So I got through about half the game on Switch, and there is noticeable input lag on Super Mario World on Nintendo Switch Online.
Really?
Yeah, and it was really pissing me off. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong here? It seems to be lessened when I used a regular Pro controller instead of the Super Nintendo controller. But I was like, I don't remember like, I did Super Metroid, like, last year, and I don't remember any lag. So I booted up Super Metroid, nothing. Donkey Kong Country, nothing. Super Mario All-Stars, nothing. I booted up every game on NSO, no input lag that I could discern. Super Mario World, that one game has, like, noticeable lag. As in, push the button, then he jumps. Like, what? That's so weird.
That's very strange. Particularly on such a meticulous platformer.
Yeah, it just kind of sucked a lot of the fun out of playing it. So I went downstairs and put my Super Nintendo cartridge in and used my 8-bit do retro receiver and the Super NES Online wireless controller. And I'm just playing it down here on my CRT, which has been, it's been a fucking dream. I had to replay the first half of the game, but it went so much faster because, like, I was like, I'm better at this game, aren't I? And that's when I was, like, really noticed how bad the lag was. So I started doing some visual testing with it. It was like, you can see him jump after my finger has already left the button on the controller. Like, that's how bad it is. But
that's wild.
Yeah, so I started playing it downstairs. And it's so weird that it's just that one game. Like, they're all using the same emulator. What the hell's going on? Doesn't make any sense. And I feel like it hasn't always been that way because I know I've beaten Super Mario World on Switch before. So,
yeah.
Like, what the bloody hell? But yeah, I've been just enjoying the hell of it down here. I have 4 stages left in Special World and then Bowser. And then I'm on to New Super Mario Bros. DS, which I'll be playing on the Wii U. And that's it. That's everything. Mario World, Vampire Survivors. There's all this new content that I hadn't played yet. I think I've just missed like the last 3 DLC packs on there. So like the free DLC, not even the add-on stuff. So I'm just like, oh, this is fucking great. There's all kinds of weird shit. I'm seeing new weapons and new stages. Like, this is just, this is wonderful. I'm so into it again. So yeah, I've been having a ball down here in the morning playing Atari. Still playing the 2600 plus. Every couple of days or so, I've been less on the game playing just because of I have a sinus infection and my headache has been just absolutely wrecking me. But yeah, good times were had by all. It was a nice Christmas. The kids enjoyed their presents and things, and we're hopefully going to have some friends over for New Year's, just a low-key local thing. And yeah, that's it. We should move on to the 2023 in review because there's a lot to cover, and well, I only have so much consciousness left. I'm so medicated right now. I'm freezing cold, but I'm sweating. This space heater is my friend. I just noticed that Hopper is in a very unusual position on the couch, so that's pretty fun. I'll send you a picture in a minute. What do you think? Should we take a break, or should we, do the first 6 months and take a break?
Let's do the first 6 months. We're only 27 minutes in.
That's it. 27 minutes.
I mean, how are you feeling?
I like death, but I don't think a break's going to help that.
Let's recap the year in style.
Let's recap the year in style. All right, so what I did was I broke down what I could find as come on, brain. Gambler is happening. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share this with you, and you're going to cover January. I tracked down as many important news stories as I could find at a glance. I didn't go super thorough, and I wrote down every video game release that I thought was worth mentioning, which again wasn't everything. It was just enough to cover the bases, as it were. That's the plan.
Yeah.
From our great leader, just sit here on our butts. I never said I was your great leader. Yeah, well, you sure act like it sometimes. Yeah, well, you act like a jerk sometimes. And this attitude of yours isn't helping anything. Yeah, well, maybe I'll just take my attitude and leave. Well, why don't you? I will. Good. Go ahead. We don't need you. Gosh, it's like moonlighting. Pork rind? Pork rind. Sorry, what?
So on January 28th, Stadia closed down, and I don't know that anybody noticed. I don't know that anybody didn't notice. I just, man.
I think all 12 owners of Stadia noticed. And I think that everybody else noticed because it was all over the news. Not because they had a Stadia and they genuinely cared.
Right.
Because
it was just a
failure
news. On Google's part, which is not like a thing that they do all that often.
It happens way more often than you'd think. they bury stuff constantly. They're like, yeah, let's try this shit out. Oh, that didn't work. Bye.
Yeah, but like
their follow through is notoriously shit. Look up all the abandoned products Google's done. We had somebody back back when Geekade did articles. We had one of our writers write this whole thing about all these just completely ridiculous abandoned projects that Google has left to the wayside, and probably assuming that Stadia was going to eventually be among them. And like, holy cow!
I don't know. Stadia just felt different, because it was like a physical. Because so much of what Google does is ethereal, right? Like it just kind of exists on the internet, and like I still miss Google Reader. I have not found a suitable replacement for it. I've found replacements, but none of them are anything like it. But that's not a material thing. It's not a physical thing that I could hold. They didn't bring me my news stories every day. This was, like there was more of a physical presence with the Stadia than there was with a lot of Google's things. However, it was just an abject fucking disaster. Just a disaster.
Nobody really seems to care. Damn, I got Gambler on 1, but I didn't get it on 2.
Oh,
so the way the gambling thing works is that you can do it on 2 different apps, which is why you can double your moolah. Yeah. And this was a beefy one. It was like $32. So, but I only got it on my computer. For some reason, it didn't come through on my phone, which makes me sad. But, oh well, I'm free.
All right. Well, I mean, that's like the biggest news story. The games that came out, though, in January, it's a heck of a year for games. So January saw...
This has been an amazing year for games and an absolutely terrible year for the games industry. You're going to see news story after news story. When I was putting this spreadsheet together, it's just like massive layoffs.
Yeah.
Wow. The sheer
sexual
quantity
assault,
of corporate greed.
Yeah.
It was a terrible year for the game industry, but just an amazing year for games. All right, go on.
So we've got Vengeful Guardian Moonrider for Windows, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PS5, One Piece Odyssey for those systems, and the Xbox Series X, Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, hitting those two being big because they hit the Switch. A new Fire Emblem RPG, Fire Emblem Engage, came out for the Switch. Monster Hunter Rise got ported up to the PS5 and the Xbox. Pocket Card Jockey Ride On, a huge game on iOS. Just absolutely massive numbers that game does. Forspoken,
does it?
Which
I haven't seen its degree of success. I know this one because it was
very successful.
It was a crazy under the radar cult classic on the 3DS eShop. And I forget what company made this one. I think it was HAL actually that did Pocket Card Jockey. It's a cross between horse racing and solitaire. And I tried it out, and it didn't quite click with me because I didn't put enough time into it. But then it just, out of nowhere, got this sequel on iOS, and I'm so glad to hear that it's doing well. Pocket Card
it's a game
Jockey
that they consistently push it
crikey.
As well.
It's Game Freak, that's what it is. This is a non-Pokemon Game Freak game.
Yeah.
You love to see it. Anyway, go on.
You do. A game that I still want to play, but just have not gotten around to, Forspoken. That was the Squeenix joint, which looked
the internet
really cool.
hated.
The internet hated it because it was a strong person of color, a strong female person of color as the lead antagonist, and we can't have that in our safe white spaces, Chris.
The over snarky dialogue was a part of it. Now, granted, there's no question what you're saying is true, but the dialogue was written like somebody trying to do an impersonation of what people think the writing is in the MCU. And I think that's where a lot of people were really pissed at this game for it. Because
that might have been part of it.
I remember watching the trailers and thinking
that wasn't the main part of it.
Probably not.
It wasn't. It's okay. Windows and Series X saw Hi-Fi Rush, a game that looks really dope that I really want to play. My daughter's favorite game, Penelope's favorite game of the year, the game that has inspired her to become an independent game developer. Like, she is upstairs. We got her a tablet, a drawing tablet for her computer, and a program called A-Sprite, so that she could begin making the sprites and backgrounds and stuff for the game that she wants to make. She's got storyboard, the whole thing is fucking awesome. And the main character is me, which is really great. I mean, it's not me. He's not called Dad. He's called Hugo, but he's me, and it's fucking awesome. But Pizza Tower is the game that inspired her. Pizza Tower is fucking awesome, and I really hope that it comes to consoles. Because if you like Wario games, like old school Wario running around being fucking crazy, Pizza Tower is for you. We got the Wonder Boy Anniversary Collection, the Dead Space remake, which is fucking dope as hell. Power Wash Simulator, which, man, they gave it for free on the PlayStation Plus a couple months ago, and I don't get it, but okay. And Onion Assault for the Switch.
So there's a couple of things I wanted to mention with these games. Vengeful Guardian Moonrider was something that I've been wanting to try ever since it came out in January and just haven't got around to it. I keep forgetting about it.
Yeah.
It just looks like a really, really cool game. Fire Emblem Engaged means nothing to me. Hi-Fi Rush, this was the one that Microsoft announced and then shadow dropped, basically, right?
Yeah.
This game came out of absolutely nowhere, and I heard it was really quite cool, and it was really exciting really cool to see something so colorful and interesting come out of Microsoft Studios like that. The Wonder Boy Anniversary.
So I know we joke about it a lot, but so different from what Microsoft is known for.
Yeah, definitely what they're known for sure. And I like that. I like seeing this kind of thing happen, you know? Even if it's on Windows and Series X, I don't care. It's just this is a really neat game, and I'm glad they made it. Yeah. I wanted to mention the Wonder Boy Anniversary Collection because this just was one of the more disgusting examples of the in-games situation where they'll release one collection that's super anemic, and then they'll do a special edition a year later that's what the original one should have been, and they're always way too expensive. I despise that company, and I hate that they had their hands on the Wonder Boy license for so long. And yeah, Power Wash Simulator was the Xbox phenomenon that got ported to PlayStation and Switch. I really wanted to mention Onion Assault. That was from the creator of Gunman Clive. It's not a 10 out of 10 or anything, but it's a really solid game with great music and weird graphics and Super Mario 2 style gameplay. It's just a neat game. It's super cheap, and this guy totally deserves your business. He is working on Gunman Clive 3, which I think is really exciting.
That is really exciting. Yeah, unlike, we've still got here on the East Coast anyway, and I don't know if Chicken Wiggle Fuckface is a West Coast person or not, but we are 2 hours and 5 minutes away from the imminent release of whatever the fuck Hatch Tales, because it's coming in 2023, Chris.
According to the website, or according to their official press release, they said it was delayed to 2024, but I guess they just can't be bothered to update their damn website. Whack jobs.
Yeah. Fuck those
but we'll
guys.
Get to that. We'll get to that.
Give wow, what the fuck is his name? Who makes the Gunman Clive and all?
Oh, Bertel Horberg.
Yes, give him all of your monies.
Yeah, he deserves them. All right, let's trade all. I'll take February.
Okay.
February, the only major news that I could come up with was that Super Nintendo World opened to the public in Universal Studios Hollywood in California. And I would very much like to go.
I can't wait to go. I don't know if I'm going to go when it opens in Florida or if I'll make it out to California for it, but I cannot wait.
Yeah, same here. I don't know how I'm going to make it happen because we're poor, but
yeah, us too.
I want to make it happen.
It'll happen at some point.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, that was it for major news in February, as far as I could tell. But as for the games released, this was a heck of a month. We had Metroid Prime Remastered Shadow Drop on the Switch, which was absolutely amazing. Physical version came out later that month. Hogwarts Legacy hit Windows, PS5, and Xbox Series X. That was a whole controversy as well. People were like, fuck J.K. Rowling, don't support Hogwarts, but also holy cow, this game looks amazing. And then everyone forgot about it in a month. Because as far as live service, open world experiences like this, apparently it's kind of shallow. It's super neat if you're a huge fan of Harry Potter, but if you're not,
I'm sure Tiff is going to love it when we eventually play it.
Tales of Symphonia Remastered came out. Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line hit Switch and PS4. Aka R came out on Windows, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Atari VCS. This is an old, I want to say canceled, arcade game. I can't remember if it was canceled or just extremely rare. And this was reimagined by Jeff Minter, the guy who did all the Tempest 2000 and stuff like that.
Right.
It looks really wild. I've been way too intimidated to try it out because it looks complicated. And
yeah,
I keep looking at it like, I just don't know if I'm up for this, but I'm so glad it exists. It's such a neat and weird experience. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe remastered the Wii game for the Nintendo Switch. I played the demo. It was neat, but whatever. Octopath Traveler 2 came out on Windows, Switch, PS4, and PS5. And of course, one of my favorites, Daily Dadish.
Game of the year.
Literal game of the year, as in I've played it every day since it came out. Daily Dadish came out on Switch and iOS, and it's just been a delight ever since. Oh, yeah. February, not so bad. Not so great, not so bad.
That's a gigantic fucking month. Are you kidding? Metroid Prime Remastered?
Yeah, for February, yeah. I mean, Metroid Prime Remastered.
Hogwarts
Legacy.
Gigantic.
Yeah, those are pretty
a remake of a Kirby
God.
game. Fucking Octopath Traveler 2 game was massive. Like, that's fucking huge.
God, Metroid Prime Remastered was so goddamn good. It was so good. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
It really is. It really, really is.
All right, let's do this with March. I can stop coughing and suck on this cough drop.
To Smarch. Lousy Smarch weather. So good. Atari announced its intent to acquire Night Dive Studios for $10 million. Nintendo closed.
Night Dive was the ones behind the Recharged games? No. Night Dive Studios is the one that's been doing all those, 64 era re-releases, like the Turok games, System Shock, Quake, Doom 64. So the other ones have been porting all those kind of like PC style games to modern platforms. And Atari was like, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, I'll have that. We'll have some of that, please. And for $10 million, not a crazy acquisition price, I suppose.
No.
Considering some of the other prices that happened during the year. Nintendo, however, closed the Nintendo eShop for the 3DS and the Wii U. Those fucking bastards, without warning, didn't tell any... No, I'm just kidding.
We knew it was coming, but it still sucked.
Yeah, it still sucks. And then the Entertainment Software Association announced that E3 2023 was canceled due to a lack of major publisher attendance, and we will circle back to that later.
We will be hearing more from the ESA later this episode. Stay tuned.
It certainly was. Still a big month. But not as big, I don't think, as February. We got Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star for the Nintendo Switch, Caverns of Mars Recharged for everything, including the VCS, Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse, Dead Cells Return to Castlevania, which I really want to like, but I just don't like Dead Cells, Bayonetta Origins, Reza and the Lost Demon, WWE 2K23, which is apparently... is a really good wrestling game. They righted the ship. Mighty Doom for iOS and Android. Speaking of, that just reminded me, there's beta out now. Somebody has taken the LJN Friday the 13th game and made it Doom. So it's all first person, but like it's the same game. But just Doom.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm really excited to dive into that. The Resident Evil 4 remake hit Windows, PS4, 5, and the Xbox Series X. Just a shame that it did not hit Switch. Did it hit Switch later in the year?
Which one?
Am I crazy? Resident Evil 4 remake?
No, that's not on Switch.
No, I didn't think it was. That just sucks. Like GameCube exclusive. Anyway, Last of Us Part 1.
It's so technically beyond the Switch. They'd have to do it as a streaming only title, like they did with 7.
But still,
and that's fine. I'll live.
Last of Us Part 1 hit PC. MLB The Show 23 hit everything again. Much better on the Switch this year than it was last year. Still not pretty. The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, this really interesting thing that came out for PC and Mac. And then Berserk, the Atari 2600 version, came out on the VCS.
Yeah, that Berserk one was pretty interesting because that was part of a different acquisition. Atari had bought a bunch of those Stern games. A whole big list, and I think that included the Accolade Bubsy stuff as well. And they got Berserk up and running on the 2600 version of Berserk up on the VCS shop right quick. God, I love Berserk. That game is so fun.
Berserk fucking rules. It's a great game.
Yeah. This was an interesting month. I really liked Caverns of Mars Recharged. I still enjoy that one on the regular. I don't really have anything else to say. The murder of Sonic the Hedgehog was interesting. I love that that's a thing. That was like last minute April Fool's Day joke thing. They just released it a day or two early. Right at the end of the month. Yeah, it's pretty
great though.
It's great that exists. You gotta love Sega's willingness to poke fun at itself. Like that's just wonderful.
Yeah.
Sega makes a lot of mistakes, but sometimes they hit the hammer on the nail, as they say.
That's right. Sometimes they are awesome.
Quite. Well, I guess that brings us on to April. My cough drop is doing its thing, so hopefully I make it through this without coughing too much. In the news, right. Epic Games acquired Brazil-based studio Aquaris, which is the company behind my beloved Horizon Chase Turbo. And Sony Interactive Entertainment acquired Firewalk Studios under its PlayStation Studios label. I don't know what Firewalk did, but I'm sure it was important. Otherwise, sure. So why would Sony buy them? In the games department, this was a neat month. There was a lot of really cool stuff this month. Atari Mania got ported up to PS4 and PS5. I only note that because I think it's fascinating that it even happened, because I was pretty confident that game didn't really do much of anything. And I thought it was great. I really enjoyed that game. So much so that I'm trying to track down a physical copy for Switch just because I want to have it on cartridge.
I see it goes on sale a bunch, and I keep looking at it like, maybe one day. If
it goes down to absolute dirt cheap for you, you might get a few dollars worth of joy out of it. If you're a huge Atari fan like I am, it's easy enough for me to overlook the wonkiness of its gameplay just because of how lovingly crafted it is. Let's see, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection hit Windows, Switch, and PS4. Minecraft Legends came to Windows, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. The Final Fantasy Pixel remasters finally came to something other than PC and mobile on friggin' April 2023 for Switch and PS4. Why in the world these things didn't come out everywhere immediately?
$1 a piece.
Yeah, like, they did not make this cheap, and I get it. There's value in that collection, but holy cow. I do not understand the logic behind this release, how limited the physical version was. Like, are you serious?
Yeah, it was a kerfuffle.
People will pay money. Just keep this on shelves. People will keep buying physical copies of this game. I don't know why you made it so limited, you freaking morons. You're the same. I'm sure this is the same team that decided to make the Kingdom Hearts games digital live service things only on Switch instead of putting on a damn cartridge. Like, what is wrong with you? What is your malfunction?
Very strange.
Shadows Over Loathing, the sequel to West of Loathing, a game I didn't finish but I need to go back to because it's so wonderful, came to Nintendo Switch. The also wonderful Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, which is what I absolutely would have returned to had I not been suffering from constant migraines, because that is not a game you want to play while having a migraine. That is a game that requires thinking, which is why I wound up with Vampire Survivors. I was like, I can just turn off my brain and do this. Hooray! God, Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp. Wonderful, wonderful game. Everyone should buy it. Dead Island 2 came out on Windows, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. Live Alive, the previous Switch exclusive, got ported to Windows, PS4, and PS5. You love to see that kind of stuff happen. Picross S9 came out for Switch, and Star Wars Jedi Survivor came out for Windows, PS5, and Xbox Series X. I have yet to play it because I don't have any of those new consoles, but I do really want to know how many hills I need to slide down.
Quite a few.
Excellent.
We'll talk about it in a couple weeks, I feel.
It's the single greatest gameplay mechanic ever. I'm so glad they focused so hard on it during that first game.
So hard.
Which means you get May, and you get to talk about the greatest news of the year.
Fuck me. The Amico Home was announced.
Yes, indeed. The Amico Home, which we later found out the details of.
Man, fuck that dude. just full stop. What a fucking prick. All right, games. Hogwarts Legacy made it to PS4 and Xbox One. The Legend of Schmelda, Schmears of the Schmigdom.
I believe it's pronounced Zorldo. Legend of Zorldo. 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 Zorldo.
Fucking Tears of the Kingdom came to Switch. Challenged for the month by Puzzle Bobble Every Bubble, which I hate that you made me say that out loud. I got through it, though. Then we also had Star Trek Resurgence and The Lord of the Rings Gollum, possibly the worst game of the year. I don't know. I haven't played it. I haven't played any of it, but that is what I have been told.
Yeah, I've seen some videos. It looks pretty wretched.
Yeah, it does not look the good.
It's pretty fun looking at this list and being like, wow, every major game backed the fuck off of Zelda. They're like, I don't want to launch against that. Not even on a different platform. And I don't blame them.
No, I don't either.
That game was as massive as I had hoped it would be. And I truly, truly loved it. What a game.
Yeah.
That Puzzle Bobble Every Bubble. Just masterpiece. 10 out of 10.
So fucking good.
Oh, boy. Yeah, the Amico Home, man. These games can only be played on this system.
Fuck that guy.
It's like this thing totally goes against everything that Tommy Tallarico said the system was supposed to be in the first place. And now it's out there in the world, and nobody's buying the games. Nobody's using Amico Home.
Nope.
But
nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit. Stop it. Just say it's dead. But I guess they can't. They have to release something, or they're going to be in huge legal trouble, I think.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, massive.
So I guess Amico Home technically counts as releasing something. Oh, fantastic. Just fantastic. I really want the Amico to exist in some way, shape, or form someday, and I want to be able to afford to buy one. I just want to have one in my house. I'm so fascinated by terrible hardware.
I personally want it to go away. I don't ever want to fucking talk about it again, but we have to every time something happens because we had the fucking cunt on our show.
I want it to go away too.
We don't have a choice.
But I want it to go away and then the floodgates to open of like, here's everything that actually happened. Like, that's what I want. I want there to be like the proper reckoning. I want the full story. And then I want it to be over and never have to think about it again until 10 years from now somebody makes it a really amusing documentary. Meanwhile, in June, my birthday month, we've got the 2023 Summer Games Fest was held through a combination of various in-person and streamed video events from over 40 publishing partners. It's Jeff Keighley's Not E3, and it's really obnoxious. But the games, this is a pretty solid month for games, too. We got Street Fighter 6 and PC, PS4, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Cross-platform play, as far as I know. We Love Katamari Reroll plus Royal Reverie? I think is how you say that?
Reverie.
I just played that a little bit more the other day. It's one of those chip away at kind of things. It's a masterpiece. Yeah. It's on PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X. You got Aliens Dark Descent. Do you remember this game at all? No recollection of this game.
Because I am forever cautious of any Alien game that is made.
Well, I've
been burned too many times, you fuckers. You're not getting me again. Even if it's good, you're not getting me again.
This is like a tactics game, right? It's such a weird thing.
It's something like that.
Yeah. Whatever. I thought it was neat. There's a whole ass Aliens game I didn't know about. Crash Team Rumble came out for PlayStation and Xbox. Pikmin 1 and 2 was shadow dropped on Switch. The physical version coming out a few months later, actually. Dr. Fetus's Mean Meat Machine, the puzzle game spin-off from Super Meat Boy with a genius name. Big Fat Final Fantasy 16 for PS5. Sonic Origins Plus, which added a bunch of fixes and the Game Gear games instead of the Master System ones that go against. So Sonic Origins, the draw was that they took the Genesis games, they made them into native widescreen and like fixed frame rate issues and stuff like that. Like that was the point of this game. We have optimized the original Genesis games for modern TVs. But we've also now included a bunch of completely unoptimized Game Gear games with tiny little screens that it's like the complete antithesis of the point of buying the game. Like, I guess it's neat to have them there. But after playing Sonic 2 and 3 in proper widescreen and switching to this thing, knowing the Master System versions of most of these games exist with larger screens to begin with, like, why are you doing this if you're not going to go all out with it? This is an example of Sega just what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, it's a little weird. Weird.
Dave the Diver came out on Windows. I still haven't played much beyond the demo. I really hope to get to that this year. Everybody 1-2 Switch came out on Switch. I can't believe it exists. I also can't believe even more that it's fun. That actually makes me angry that this game is amusing to play. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective got re-released. It was a DS game that had a great cult following. I never played it myself, but it was re-released on Windows, Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. And Annalyn came out for Nintendo Switch, which is a really brilliant take on Pac-Man, except you're an adorable miner girl running through mines avoiding snakes. It's a brilliant, brilliant game. Love it to death. Great month, huh?
Yeah, outstanding month. I mean, anytime there is a new mainline Final Fantasy game, that is like kind of a big, hairy fucking deal. And Final Fantasy 16 did very well and has been reviewed very favorably. The Puzzle and Dragons collab featuring some of the characters from Final Fantasy 16 has just hit the North American servers as of 13 minutes ago. So that's something. If you like Final Fantasy and want to play Puzzle and Dragons, jump right in. Pikmin
Street
1
Fighter
and 2.
6, the same thing can be said
Street Fighter 6.
Anytime a numbered Street Fighter sequel comes out,
gigantic.
And then it was not a PlayStation exclusive anymore, that just made me happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a fuck of a month.
Yeah.
And we're only halfway through.
Good job, video games. And at that, speaking of being halfway through, we're going to take ourselves a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hit the back half of the year, July through December, talk about all the other wonderful and terrible things that have happened in the video game industry throughout 2023. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around. Hi everyone, Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
All right, we're back. We're doing our 2023 year in review. And it's Dan's turn to pick us up with July, where I think we have some very interesting news to cover.
Nothing to report. So the games that came out in July, we had Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals that hit Windows, the Switch, PS4, PS5, Gravity Crycut, or Circuit, for PC, Switch, PS4, PS5. Exoprimal, a game that I'm fascinated by. Windows, PC, that is the same thing. Windows, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. Pokemon Sleep for the iOS and Droid. Pikmin 4 for the Nintendo Switch, my other daughter's game of the year. Mr. Run and Jump for everything, including the VCS and 2600. Double Dragon Gaiden Rise of the Dragons for most of the systems. Disney Illusion Island for the Switch. And Gimmick Special Edition for the Switch. Big fucking hairy Switch month.
Yeah, I mean, I've never played the Oxenfree games, but they have a whole lot going on. Gravity Circuit is, Mike Sheridan has been telling me to play this one for a little while. It is on my list. This game looks incredible. It's very Mega Man X inspired. It just looks knucking fuss. I'm looking at it right now, watching the trailer again, like, damn, this game looks good. I'm so excited to try it.
It does look very cool. Yeah.
Exoprimal is like, you look at a game like this, and you just cannot not say, Capcom, why do you refuse to make Dino Crisis?
Yeah, why? Why? Just stop doing all of this other shit. And
you just keep making dinosaur games and making people think, oh my god, they're doing Dino Crisis. No, they're not. They're doing something else, and it looks cool, but I wish it was Dino Crisis. What the fuck?
You could have made this game. Just call it fucking Dino Crisis, Exoprimal.
Yeah,
that would have been fine.
Just tie it in somehow, because if you are going to make some sort of action-based experience with dinosaurs involved, just call it Dino Crisis. Make sure everyone knows it's a spin-off and it's not a proper return to form or whatever, but while you're at it, do what you're doing to Resident Evil to Dino Crisis.
Oh my god, please fucking do that.
Please fucking do that,
shit? Capcom.
Can you imagine Dino Crisis looking like Resident Evil Village? Holy shit.
Yes, I can. I want it. Hard.
Obviously, Pikmin 4 is a big deal. It's been in the works for a long, long time. Mr. Run and Jump, I heard, is pretty great. I just love that there's an Atari 2600 version as well.
Yeah, no, that's so great.
Real-ass cart you can buy from Atari, and it runs your original 2600. It's hilarious. Double Dragon Gaiden was a great return to form for Double Dragon. I adored that game. I thought it was a blast. It's not perfect, and the art direction takes some getting used to, but holy crap, is it a fun game to play. Gimmick Special Edition was a bit of a letdown. That game deserves a better port than this. The Trip World DX that Limited Run handled later in this year was far superior as far as a port job. Gimmick, it had a little bit of input lag, not a ton, but Gimmick is a precision platformer. So having the rewind feature was nice, but even the tiny bit of lag that was in Gimmick Special Edition was enough to make it considerably less fun than its NES counterpart. But yeah, this is for the summertime, this is a big ass month. Well done.
Yeah, that's gigantic. Absolutely gigantic.
Oh, boy. All right.
What do we got in August?
Augusto. What happened in Augusto? We got some Segi, the Segi Sama group. The Sega Sammy Group completed the acquisition of Rovio Entertainment for $775 million. Congratulations, you own Angry Birds.
Good for you.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's a thing. I'm not saying that Angry Birds isn't a money-making proposition now.
No,
it's not what it used to be, but it's certainly a profitable thing. But I don't understand why Sega needs to own it. Like, I don't understand why anyone other than Rovio needs to own it. It just seems like one of those things like, we could just do this forever and be fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever. Nintendo announced that Charles Martinet will be stepping back from recording voices for Mario and other characters.
And the internet lost its mind.
Very seriously, because there has to be something nefarious about it. It can't just be that he wants to retire or that Nintendo wants to go in a new direction with their main character. This guy's been voicing Mario for ever, and it's okay. Mario Wonder sounded great. It's okay.
And he's Charles Martinet old.
Charles Martinet is just fine.
Old,
he is, as much as he may want to do it, he's not sounding youthful anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's like Peter Cullen can get away with it with Optimus Prime, but even now, you're starting to hear it, There's a reason James Earl Jones stopped voicing Darth Vader. Like, you remember when he talked in Rogue One, and it was like, that's not what Vader sounds like anymore. Like, I know that's James Earl Jones, but he talks slower because he can't keep up.
Because he's old.
Because he's old. It happens.
Shit.
It's fine. It's fine. Everyone's fine. Charles Martinet is fine. He seems to be doing great. Gamescom took place in Cologne, Germany, and as part of its restructuring, Embracer Group shuttered Volition, one of several Embracer Group shithills that we're going to hear. Yeah. Embracer Group was this group that was just buying up everything, and they had this big merger thing happen in North America that fell apart, and then they just tanked. They shuttered a lot. They cost a lot of jobs. Just a whole cart before the horse situation, and you hate it when that degree of greed ruins everything. But meanwhile, in the games department, on the plus side, because that's the thing, all this news, most of the news is just, and then the game's just like, but holy shit, right? Baldur's Gate 3, which wound up being a lot of people's game of the year this year, launched on PC. Overwatch 2 came to PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and Series X. Stray got ported over to Xbox platforms. Red Dead Redemption.
Good fucking game.
Yeah, Stray's pretty cool. Red Dead Redemption came out on Switch and PS4 for some reason.
Yeah.
And it did incredibly well. But like, all right.
I know. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. Vampire Survivors got ported to Switch. Made me so happy. God, that platform is a perfect fit for it. And I do not understand how it works. I don't understand it. Because like...
Yeah. I don't either.
I remember playing it on my Xbox One and thinking my Xbox was going to just melt. And I'm like, how the hell is this game, when it gets crazy, going to work on Switch? And after the update, the new weapons they've added, once you evolve them, are even crazier than the old ones, and the Switch is handling it fine. Just fine. I keep looking at it like, something's going to give. Like, something's going to happen, and the Switch is going to give me a blue screen of death, and then it just doesn't. It just keeps going. I don't understand it.
Still not on PlayStation, oddly enough.
Why? That's so weird. I mean, I know they're a relatively small team, and they're very committed to making more and more content for this game, but it is strange that it hasn't landed on PlayStation yet. But I'm sure it will eventually, because it's just this perfect platform. I love it. Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which was a spiritual successor to Jet Grind Radio or Jet Set Radio, came out on PC and Switch. And I heard it was pretty okay, but now we've got a new Jet Set Radio coming, so...
Which is all that matters. Yeah.
Madden 24 came out on everything except Nintendo Switch for some goddamn reason. Like,
yeah, it's weird.
Electronic Arts, could you please? Why don't you release your sports games on Switch, the most popular platform on the market? Even if they're shitty. Your shitty FIFA games have sold like gangbusters on the Switch. At least do that so there's some football on the platform, you knobs. WrestleQuest came out for everything. PC, Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, iOS, and Droid. Did you play this one?
Yes, it's awesome.
Excellent. Blasphemous 2 came out. I didn't play the first one, but it looked awesome, and the second one looks awesome too.
I really want to get that. I'm imagining that will be my game that came out in 2023, but should whatever award we do when we do the Golden Caveman.
That you wish you played.
Yeah. Because I'm going to get to it. The first one was fucking dope as shit.
I've heard nothing but good things about the first one. I'd like to get it. I just know I don't want to play it with my kids around.
Definitely not
super.
It's just gross. And, there's a lot of like pretty intense imagery.
Yeah, and that's what I don't want the kids walking in on. Yeah. And I don't know. I haven't looked at it and said, I'm going to put the money and time into only playing this on a small screen while the kids aren't around, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have that time in my life since I work from home now. I have less of that.
Yeah.
But anyway, Armored Core 6 came out. The Making of Karateka came out, which is the first entry in the Gold series from Digital Eclipse, which was absolutely amazing. I don't like Karateka all that much, having played through this even afterwards, but I have such an appreciation for it now and what it brought to the gaming industry. It's a really fascinating story. Can't recommend it enough. Samba de Amigo Party Central came out on Switch. Sea of Stars came out on Switch, PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and was a goddamn masterpiece. Quantum Recharged hit pretty much every platform, including Atari VCS, which is a really, really neat reimagining of an extremely obscure Atari arcade game. And I think it's a really intelligent reimagining of it, too. It's good so far. 1 a month. For me personally.
Gigantic. Again.
Vampire Survivors and Sea of Stars. I don't care what else happened.
We're going to have to take a pause here for a minute because I have the hiccups and I got to go fix that. Hold, please. All right. Oh, that was dire.
Well, I'm glad it's over. Welcome back to the stage of history.
To the stage.
Voldo.
So hot. So in September...
God, do you remember when that game launched on Dreamcast and you could see the veins in Voldo's ass?
Yeah. I
don't know why that was a measuring stick, but it was like, I remember him doing that creepy roll around like, oh man, you can see the veins in his ass. Video games are crazy. That was the future right there.
It was something.
Anyway.
September. On a sadder note, the ESA announced that there will be no E3 in 2024, Kris. Surely it'll be back for 2025, though. Thankfully, we don't have to worry about that.
They got to get their shit together. They got to restructure, figure out a game plan. But there's no reason they can't find a way to make E3 work. There just isn't.
No, definitely not. Perhaps the most fucking crazy story of the year, maybe.
Oh boy!
Unity Technologies announced a new retroactive licensing fee for the Unity game engine to start in 2024, generating. I mean, backlash is a really nice word for the clusterfuck that this caused within the indie gaming community.
This was copied from Wikipedia, by the way. It's just we're not plagiarizing. I just copy pasted from Wikipedia.
What a fucking shitstorm.
That in particular.
So strong.
Word for word from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
What a shitstorm.
So strong was the storm of shit that Unity reworked the entire thing a week later.
Because how could they, how could they not? Clearly, they looked at this and said, let's see what we can get away with. Because if we can, that's a whole lot of money. This is greed at its finest. Way to go, Unity. Way to just completely burn every ounce, shred of goodwill you have.
But boy, could they not get away with it. That was not a thing they got away with. The Tokyo Game Show convention took place at the Makunari Mase in Chiba, Japan. So, yeah. There was a big fucking announcement that came out of there. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. Jim Ryan, the CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment, announced his intent to leave Sony by April 2024. Epic Games laid off about 16% of its workforce, which is about 850 employees, including the divestment of Bandcamp and Super Awesome. I didn't even know they owned Bandcamp. Doesn't matter.
I didn't either.
But man, that is a lot of people to lose their jobs.
Yep.
And
I'm sure they couldn't afford to keep them around. Epic Games, they've got to be hurting for cash, right?
Oh, so, for sure.
Those 850 people definitely needed to be out of work instead of
needed to lose their jobs.
No question about it. And they should have hired all of them in the first place, right? It's
no.
Go on.
Bunch of pricks. And in a move shocking no one, Kris, Hatch Tales was delayed into 2024 with just a fuck ton of changes.
It's not the game anyone paid for. It's not the game anybody wants. I don't even know. I'm speechless. I've already went on my rant. Switch to the games, goddammit.
All right, games. We got Bomb Rush Cyberpunk for the 4, the 5, the 1, and the X. Mega Man X Dive Offline for Windows, iOS, and Droid. Baldur's Gate 3 for PS5 and Mac. Starfield, finally, for Windows and the Xbox Series X. And yeah.
Apparently landed with a bit of a thud.
Yeah.
Kind of a shock. Yeah. I really didn't think that company could miss, but
apparently they did.
I don't think it's an abject failure by any stretch, but it did seem like not a lot of people were as thrilled with it as they expected.
Yeah, and we just kind of live in this world where it's okay to ship a game that's not ready yet because we'll fix it in post. You know, it's a very weird thing. NBA 2K24 came out for everything. Gunbrella, such a good name. Windows and Nintendo Switch. Super Bomberman R2 for everything except the VCS. Batten Kaitos, the 1 and 2 HD remaster for the Switch. F-Zero 99 for the Switch. Such a cool fucking game. I love F-Zero. Can we just get an actual F-Zero game, though? Like, can you stop fucking dicking me around?
Yeah, like, this is great and all. And this should absolutely exist. But so should a proper F-Zero.
Yeah.
If you're going to be shadow dropping GameCube games on the Switch, shadow drop F-Zero.
Yeah, it's not that hard.
Just like Metroid Prime. If you just do that with some polish, it's going to look incredible. Because there were some GameCube games, like Metroid Prime, they didn't do a ton of reworking on that. That is most the GameCube game shined up. You do that, and F-Zero GX is absolutely one of those games that would be breathtaking, just slightly cleaned up on the Switch. Just make it happen.
Wouldn't take a lot of work. Horizon Chase 2 for Windows and Switch. Trombone Champ, a game that I still really want to play and have not played yet because it is just my kind of stupid.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I really want to play it. I know I'm going to love it. That came out for the Switch. Bit Trip Rerunner came out for PC. A game that I really wanted to play, just did not get around to this year, maybe next year. Lies of P for PC 4, 5, 1, and X. Mortal Kombat 1, another game that I really wanted to get to, just didn't get to it this year. For the PC, the Switch. Boy, that Switch version, the 5 and the X, and Roblox for the Quest 2.
Some real winners here. I'm vaguely interested in this Mega Man X Dive thing, but like, I don't know, not enough to play it on iOS. But Gunbrella was a Devolver Digital joint. I'd really like to give that a go. I remember really liking Batten Kaitos 1 on GameCube.
That was the card-based one?
Yeah.
Am I crazy?
I don't know that I would get into it again, but it had some great music and some really colorful visuals. I heard the remaster was just fine, so I kind of avoided it just because I had too much else to play this year.
Yeah.
Horizon Chase 2 is magnificent. I haven't gone back to it because I've been sick since October, and this is a game that requires concentration, and I just haven't had it. Which is fine. There are plenty of other games that I needed to get through, like Mario RPG and stuff, but Horizon Chase 2 is wonderful. Trombone Champ is exactly as wonderful as I want. I'm going to wait till Bit Trip Rerunner inevitably comes to a platform, because I feel like it has to. And that's about it for my thoughts on this month, other than another really cool month. September was a cool month. Really interesting stuff. Mm-hmm. And, like, it's neat that Baldur's Gate 3, it came out, it just drip-fed throughout the year on different platforms. It's ridiculous. Yeah. All right, my turn. October, Nintendo announces that the online services for 3DS and Wii U software will discontinue in early April 24, although, as the time of this recording, both of them are down now. So, that's kind of nasty.
That's pretty early 2024.
Yeah, it's so early.
To do it in 2023.
Hold me closer. Only closer, I'll be in back of you. That's Nintendo in the eShops. You're welcome. The acquisition of Activision Blizzard by Microsoft was completed following approval from the United Kingdom's Competition and Markets Authority. I still think it's a bad idea, but...
I do too.
I hate all this...
But they didn't ask me.
They didn't ask me. So... I hate all this consolidation. Some of it's cool. There are some acquisitions out there I'm fine with, but others, they really make me uneasy. And Activision... I mean, I guess Activision's not going to be worse under Microsoft, because how could it be? But still,
how could it be?
It's just kind of the whole thing left me with a bad taste in my mouth. Kevin Afghani was announced as the new voice of Mario and Luigi, and the people rejoiced because he was just fine. Bungie laid off about 100 employees as part of cost-cutting measures due to lower player counts of Destiny 2, and Atari announced its intent to acquire Digital Eclipse for $20 million. That is an acquisition that I do think is kind of
Yeah,
because that is an instance. See, when you look at something like Activision Blizzard, that's Microsoft being like, I want this thing because it's going to make everybody a bunch of money. Where Atari is just like, you know what? If we buy Digital Eclipse can do more of what it does. That's kind of neat. So when you see those kind of acquisitions, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Consolidation still makes me nervous, but that one didn't really bother me. You know, Atari buying Atari Age, that was interesting. Atari buying Moby Games, that makes me uneasy. But the Digital Eclipse one I thought was neat because they were very upfront about, we're not changing what they're doing, we're bankrolling them to do better. It was similar to their purchase of the majority stake in the company that makes Polymega. And hopefully that starts to see some fruition soon, because I know there's some units out there in the world, and that's better than they were 6 months ago. So, yeah. But anyways, games. Blossom Tales 2, The Minotaur Prince, got ported to Xbox One and Series X. That's a great game. Everybody should play it. Assassin's Creed Mirage? I vaguely remember there being a new Assassin's Creed this year. I mean, I guess there's one every year.
Because of course there was. Yeah.
God,
there's one every 6 months.
No recollection of this thing happening. Front Mission 2 remake. You were excited about that, right?
Oh, I really want that too.
Wargroove 2. That's another one that's a Dan game.
Yeah.
Detective Pikachu Returns.
Detective Pikachu
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, if you like Advance Wars, Wargroove is great.
So Detective Pikachu Returns didn't really move the needle at all. I really feel like they missed the boat on this game. They should have found a way to make this game come out back when that movie was in theaters. I feel like it would have done a lot better.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the movie, and the game I just heard was kind of okay. It's a weird thing. I don't know why it was delayed for so long, and then kind of came and went. It's strange. Anyway, NHL 24 came out on the 4.5, the one on the X. Roblox came to PS4 and PS5 to ruin that platform, I guess. Atari's new iteration of Haunted House came out for PC, Switch, 4, 5, 1X, and VCS. The A Boy and His Blob Retro Collection came out on Switch, PS4, and 5. The Golem's big competition for worst game of the year, Skull Island: Rise of Kong. Look this one up when you get a chance. This game is just an unfathomable disaster. Sonic Superstars came out on everything. Gargoyles Remastered came out for some goddamn reason. I love Gargoyles, the property, but that game was
sucks.
It was fine at best. Like, I don't know. That's a strange thing to go back and remaster or whatever. Marvel Spider-Man 2 came out on PS5.
God, it's so fucking good, Chris.
The surprisingly legitimate global phenomenon Suika game came out on Nintendo Switch. And in the interest of that one, Ferg messaged me. I messaged him the other Wednesday, and I asked if she had, Mrs. Ferg had played Suika game because it seemed right up her alley. And tonight, he said, Sarah said, thanks, but this might be a problem. And then Ferg said, I'm going to work now. She said she would probably still be there when I get home. It has been Karen's obsession. I've played it a handful of times. It is a fun game, and I'm sorry.
You fucking home wrecker.
Super Mario Brothers Wonder came out on Nintendo Switch. Just an absolute masterpiece of a game. Metal Gear Solid Master Collection Volume 1 hit Switch, PS4, PS5, Series X, and Windows. That was really high on my Christmas list, and I didn't get it, so I need to pick that up because I am positively itching to replay the first Metal Gear Solid.
How is it possible that you and I have not gotten that game?
Probably because I own the first Metal Gear Solid, 6 times over by now? Like, I have that game. I could play it right now if I wanted to in multiple locations, but I want to play it on my Switch, goddammit. So, there we go. That's what I'm going to do. I really wish they'd put Twin Snakes on Switch. Dude, give that the Metroid Prime Remastered treatment. Yeah. Twin Snakes breaks Metal Gear Solid in a lot of ways, but it's also such a fun game.
Oh, it's so good. It's so fun.
Dave the Diver got ported to Switch, and my son absolutely loved it. And Alan Wake 2 came out for PC, PS5, and Series X, and apparently was great.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I haven't played the first one. Couldn't tell you, Chris.
Any thoughts on this month before we move on?
Front Mission 2, I will definitely get to at some point. I really, really love the original Front Mission 2. I was so stoked for a remake. Just at this time of the year, just not a good time. Just hit all my beer glasses with my back scratcher. Just not a good time. Like for that and Wargroove 2 to come out like in the same month, it was like, oh fuck, how do you choose? I choose neither. Skull Island, man, I fucking love the legendary Godzilla stuff, the legendary Kong stuff. I really genuinely love those fucking properties. I think they've done really good work with the movies, and this Monarch TV show is fucking awesome. But the game, oh fuck, just damn it. I feel the same way with
two legitimate Game of the Year contenders in this month. We had Marvel Spider-Man 2, Super Mario Brothers Wonder, both dropping this month, and a Mario and Sonic game releasing, what was it, a few days apart?
A few days apart, yeah.
Madness.
It's just wild.
Absolute madness.
Wild. Spider-Man 2, I just could not be any happier with. It's just... November. Let's do it. Almost there,
Jump
Kris.
in, sir.
How we doing on time?
Give me your November. Oh, we're fine. We're at 10:45. We're doing great. I'm sorry we're blowing through this, but I am hanging on by a thread, people. I'm hanging on. I'm doing this for you.
That's right.
Happy New Year, but every molecule in my body is begging me to stop talking and go the fuck to bed, and I'm saying no. We're getting through this shit. We're doing it. We're doing it live, or we're doing it for you.
Mr. No Days Off, Chris Randazzo. That's right.
That's what they call me.
That's what somebody calls you. Blizzard Entertainment. So news for November. Blizzard Entertainment hosted BlizzCon, an in-person event at the Anaheim Convention Center in California. Also the same week, the adult entertainment industry hosts JizzCon. No idea why. Ubisoft laid off 124 employees worldwide, most from its Canadian studios because fuck America's hat. Series of layoffs were announced at Amazon Games, Digital Bros, Humble Games, and Congregate. Just fuck, man. So many people losing their jobs. Not fucking cool. Unity Technologies announced another set of layoffs consisting of 3.8% or 265 employees as part of a company reset following their fucking shitstorm from September where they were going to do their licensing thing. And then Carl Jobst releases a video about Gerard the Completionist that if you run in those circles, just divided the fuck out of everybody. So
basically started
nothing but
an
positive
avalanche of what's seemingly pretty irrefutable evidence that this dude ripped off people and charities. It's gross. Look it up online. There's lots of fascinating videos about it. I've watched most of them. I don't have the details memorized, but it has been disappointing to say the least because I've never been a huge fan of him, but I always thought it was pretty cool.
Sure,
and
but still,
you hate to see
this
stealing from charity. You know,
this is the kind of thing, Kris, that like legitimately, we make a lot of jokes on this show. This is a funny, haha kind of show most of the time, or at least I think it's funny. I don't know if anybody else does, but in all transparent seriousness, I do not believe in an afterlife. I do not believe in hell. This is the kind of thing that makes me wish that I did. Because stealing from fucking charities is just amongst the most scumbag fucking thing you can do. It's just disgusting.
Charity fraud is
preying on
really
people's
something.
Misery is... Oh, you are a fucking scum of the earth. There's no coming back from that. There's just no coming back from that. Just fuck that guy. Anyway, games. Fashion Dreamer for basically the same thing. Fashion Dreamer for the Nintendo Switch came out. I know nothing about that, but didn't we interview some people that were like really excited about this game? Or am I thinking they were excited about some other fashion bullshit?
This is the sort of spiritual successor to Nintendo's Style Savvy series, which, as far as I know, was unfortunately a bit of a letdown.
Oh, okay. All right. RoboCop Rogue City. A new fucking RoboCop game came out in 2023. No movie tie-in, no other property, just like, let's make a fucking RoboCop game. Apparently it's pretty dope, too. It came out
apparently
for PC.
It wasn't bad. That's, I think, the biggest the biggest scare of all.
That's the story there?
Yeah.
There was a good RoboCop game in 2023. Fuck, I love RoboCop. Oh, it's so good. That came out for Windows, PS5, and Series X. WarioWare Move It came out for the Switch. We got it for Penn for Christmas. She has not played it yet. She was like, Dad, can we play this together? And I was like, man, as soon as my shoulder doesn't fucking hurt anymore. My doctor's appointment is February 1st, by the way, for the MRI. So I got the X-ray because the American healthcare system is awesome. Got the X-ray in December. And I can get the MRI over a month later. So that's cool. I'll just continue taking ibuprofen until then. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, which is not Smash Brothers, came out for everybody. Berserk Recharge came out for everybody and the VCS. The Double Dragon Collection came out for the Switch, which I am interested in because I fucking love the Double Dragon games. But I have all of my other collections on PS5. So maybe I will just get it there at some point. Chris's Game of the Year, Air Twister, came out everywhere. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. The first Call of Duty game that has come out that has not been universally just knob slobbered all over. This is like the first one I can remember where people in the gaming media have been like, all right, this kind of sucked. We weren't happy with this. Because every other time it's like, oh, Call of Duty came out. It's fucking awesome. Hogwarts Legacy came out for the Switch. Flashback 2 came out for everything else. I'm really interested in that too. I want to get to that.
I heard it wasn't very good.
I know, but I know. But the first one's not really very good either. You know, I know we talked about it. Like, I like it. I don't know that I would go so far as to call it a good game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's so weird. And
I agree. I think it's more interesting than good.
The fact that a sequel came out so many years later, like, I'm just kind of interested to see where it goes. King of Fighters 13 Global Match came out for the Switch and PS4. Bluey the video game, which is apparently not a bad game, came out for everything. Persona
I heard
5.
the opposite. I heard Bluey was also a huge letdown.
Oh, really? I've heard it's pretty good. If you like Bluey, for that. You know, if you're into Bluey, is Ellie into Bluey?
Oh, they used to be. I think they're a little old for it. Yeah, it's got an average ranking of 2.4. Yeah, it's been pretty...
Out of 5 or out of 10? Or out of 100?
5. Out of 5.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a fucking kid's game. What do you want?
I want it to be good because Bluey's good. Bluey's great. I don't know if you've seen... Any of your kids are too old for it, but...
They are. Tiff's not, though, apparently.
Fucking Bandit is my spirit animal.
Watch Bluey.
Bandit's amazing. I love him. Bluey is just such a great, wonderfully wholesome show, and I wanted there to be a genuinely good video game out of it. It doesn't need to be like Masterclass, but like just something that isn't a collection of shit mini games to cash in on a license. That's all I want.
And that's what this is? It's a collection of shit mini games?
From what I've come to understand, it's pretty anemic.
That's disappointing, but unsurprising, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard it was pretty good. What do I know? Persona 5 Tactica came out everywhere. But then the big hitter for this month, Super Mario RPG for the Nintendo Switch. Also got that for Katie. She has not dived into that yet because she went into... because she also got a Sonic game, too. I forget which Sonic game she got. It doesn't matter. But both of the kids are pretty excited to jump into RPG. And then Trip World DX also came out for the Switch.
Interesting month. So obviously, I just finished Super Mario RPG. It is literally Super Mario RPG. There are some minor tweaks, but it's just a visual upgrade. That is that Super Nintendo game, but prettier, and I love it. Trip World DX is a fantastic it's an interesting little game. I don't think it's an amazing game, but it's a super interesting one. It's like a super late Sunsoft Game Boy game that never came out in the United States. It's incredibly sought after. Like, the game's ridiculously expensive. And just to have it re-released in such high quality with such care, I thought was great. What's it? Hogwarts Legacy finally hitting the Switch. Air Twister is I just don't like it. There was a Double Dragon Collection is neat because not only did they release Double Dragon Collection, including Super Double Dragon and Double Dragon Advance getting re-released for the first time. All the games they're available individually if you want. If you don't want the collection, you can just buy a game out of the collection, which I think is neat. And I think Berserk Recharged is a wonderful game. I think it's great.
I definitely want the collection.
As do I.
I don't want to have to pick my Dragon Ball games. I just want to play them.
Yeah, I'm a big Double Dragon fan, and although what hurts me about it is the thought of purchasing Double Dragon 4 again, because I think that game's a pile of shit.
Well, it is. There's no thinking involved there, Chris.
First three NES games are great. First three NES games are great. Super Double Dragon's interesting, and Double Dragon Advance's rules. So it's a solid collection. I should get it one of these days. Yeah. All right. Last month, December. This is the month that we're currently in. We are experiencing December as we record this. In the news, the Game Awards happened, and fuck them. Free Radical Design was shut down as a part of the Embracer Group's failed $2 billion deal. Fuck you, Embracer Group. Google was found to have maintained an illegal monopoly in the Android market by a jury trial in Epic Games v. Google. The ESA confirmed that they would no longer hold E3 trade shows for the foreseeable future. Activision Blizzard and the California Civil Rights Department agreed to a $54 million settlement in the lawsuit into sexual harassment at the company. Insomniac Games suffered a huge data breach with personal information and stuff. And as part of Microsoft's acquisition, the one good news of this year, Bobby Kotick will retire from Activision and Blizzard after being CEO for 32 years and one of the most evil men on the planet. Hopefully he burns in hell for all eternity.
Yep.
And as far as the games go, we've got the Arkham trilogy hitting the Nintendo Switch. SteamWorld Build came out for everything. I know folks like the SteamWorld games. Sonic Dream Team. I love those
SteamWorld games. Maybe that's Sonic what Katie got. Did she get Dream? No. Dream Team's the iOS game.
She probably got Superstars.
Dream
Team,
I think that's
because I think she has all the rest of them, right? Like she got last year's one, Frontiers. So I remember you talking about Frontiers. But anyways, Sonic Dream Team was an exclusive for Apple Arcade, and it's from what I've come to understand, it is competent. So, right? And then Baldur's Gate 3 coincidentally won Game of the Year as it was announced at the Game Awards that it's coming to Xbox Series X.
Huh? Wild.
I know. I'm just making shit up here. It's not a conspiracy. I'm sure it's a coincidence, and the Game Awards are totally on the level. But anyways, that's December. That's the year. This was quite a year, man. I had so much fun with video games this year. I've had an absolute blast.
So many good games. So many just massive, giant, fucking monster titles that came out. And then, like, a ton of little games that came out that were super cool. Like, it was just a really, really good year. And next year looks like a fucking avalanche of awesome as well.
Yeah, I got high hopes for next year. We're going to hold off on that for our next episode, because we're going to be doing a preview of 2024. I think that's what's next, right? I forgot to write that part of the script. What are we doing?
That's how Dad does it.
That's how America does it. Yeah. All right. So no, that's actually not what's next. That's our show.
Golden Caveman.
That's right. What's next? And join us next week when we'll be giving out the Golden Caveman Awards. Dan and I'll be talking about our Game of the Year nominations and awards, and we'll be giving out fictional stuff to a bunch of people who don't care. But I'm sure if they did know that we appreciated them as Game of the Year, that they would thank us.
I just want to be on the back of somebody's box at some point. I just want to be mentioned somewhere, like 2023 Golden Caveman Stone Age Gamer. Like, I don't know who we can get to do that for us. Like, it's not even for them. It's for me.
We'll make it happen somehow. We just got to earn enough money. Make it happen.
Oh, okay.
All right, guys, that is it. That's our show. We're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff like a link to our namesake, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows in the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep this show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by Banjo Guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making this show listenable for all you folks. We'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That's it, everybody. Have a happy new year from all of us here at Stone Age Gamer. Keep playing games.